Yeah.
So you found Tony Robbins at like a relatively young age then, I guess, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Like I said, it was probably about 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just found a cassette tape. It was the Awaken. I think it was Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of his like classic
yeah.
one, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not. I've listened to him on other interviews. I haven't listened to his actual.
Actually,
tapes,
no.
I
You
can't
know what
say.
it was? It was Unleash the Power Within, I think.
Okay.
So UPW, or is that? I know he does like a conference called UPW, but no, I think maybe
Because
it
there's
was,
one that's power and one that's giant in the title. I
Yeah.
know that.
Well,
but-
Awaken the Giant Within is a book that he
Yeah.
has.
Oh, okay,
And so
okay,
this was like an audio, like a cassette audio, not a cassette, sorry, a CD.
Oh, okay,
audio.
Okay. Yeah.
But which I was listening to, and then that's a book. But he's got Unleash the Power Within, which is a conference. So it wasn't Unleash the Power Within; it was Awaken the Giant Within. So
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
so anyways, it was I mean, Tony Robbins is the man. I mean, I know he's like easy to make fun of and easy target because he's like the like life coach, like kind of.
Mhm.
But fuck, he's the man. He just lights my soul on fire listening to him. I have
Mhm.
so much respect for him, and he changed my life, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Netflix documentary?
Oh man,
About him?
have I
Yeah.
seen?
Oh, really?
I'm not your guru.
I'm
yeah.
not your guru. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good? I haven't.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw a trailer for it. I haven't watched it.
I mean, dude, I think it's like one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. I also cried in it, like waterworks, and yeah, that stuff just gets me, man. I think it's just because I've struggled for so long, and I know a lot of people watch it and they think it's cheesy or like it's just like, oh yeah, like this motivational bullshit. But like, I struggled for so long that like, and actually I had a client call earlier today, and she wrote on her wall, that Rocky quote.
Yeah.
That's like, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows,
Yeah.
and like, it's not about how many times you fall down. And I know that's so cheesy, but man, that's still just like sends chills down my spine, man. It's like, life is gonna knock you down, and like, just get back up, and like that stuff, man. It's so cliche, but it just evokes so much emotion out of me because I literally struggled for so many years.
Mhm.
And it sucked, and it just it gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is actually a meaning behind those things. Like even shit, I wish I could think of a good example. But some of those like borderline cheesy axioms, it's like there's a profound truth to them, but they've gotten broken down so much that they almost sometimes lose a bit of their meaning. Like you have to have like your personal context put behind it even.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it is. It's like it's a universality, and there's the simplicity of it that it just people can relate to it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. But it's also easy to overlook because it's so simple too.
Yeah.
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 Are you into NLP, neuro linguistic program?
Yeah. I've actually thought about getting certified or
Okay.
taking courses and stuff. I know like the basics of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I've read books on it and stuff. But in kind of my earlier journey, audiobooks and stuff about NLP, and I forget who's like the father of NLP, but I've read like at least one of his books, and yeah, it's really interesting stuff, man. And I'm like, are you really into it? That's why you ask? Or
Not so
just
much.
curious?
Like I've man, the whole rabbit hole that I've gone down lately when it comes to religion / the everybody has those like questions, and to go down the rabbit hole of the spirituality and that sort of thing. Like I've just been like, what do these people think? Okay, what do these people think?
Yeah.
And then
Totally,
just kind of like see where that leads me. But that I've heard of it. I've done some research on it.
Yeah, neuro-linguistic programming, like for, I guess, your audience, that not everyone knows what it is. It's
I don't even fully know what it is.
yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, I don't know what the actual, like, if you looked it up, what the definition would be, but it's basically like a set of like principles that are based on psychology to, I guess influence human behavior or human psychology. And it's like, Donald Trump is known to know NLP, and Tony Robbins is a big NLP guy, and it's all to do with like interrupting patterns is essentially one of the foundational principles of like, and this is why, like, I'll give you an example. Like Tony Robbins swears in his conferences and stuff, and the I'm Not Your Guru documentary, like he says fuck a lot, and like people don't really understand. It's like, why do you need to swear a lot? And it's like, really in psychology, taboo words will interrupt the pattern of our psychology. So like when someone says a taboo word, you immediately get your attention drawn to it because it's a taboo word. So he strategically swears as he's talking to like draw the attention back from the audience, because like obviously when he's speaking for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, people can lose interest.
Definitely.
But you enter in those taboo words and it draws people's attention, and he'll do things like he'll stand up, or he'll get you to stand up, or he'll, it's about interrupting the pattern. Or even the word look, like, and I say the word look a lot. I've built a habit of being like, look, like this. And for some reason, when we say look, it draws people's attention in as well too. So, and obviously that's like just really oversimplistic, things with NLP, but it obviously is much more extensive than that. But like those are just some examples of like, it's just, using human psychology to kind of influence and, yeah.
It's almost like so it's just kind of one component of persuasion, of like a certain word or tactic or something.
But you do it to yourself.
Okay, but you do it to yourself as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
gotcha.
Yeah, you can do it to yourself, and you can do things that will influence the pattern interrupts or the programming in other people to get, their desired result that you want.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe an NLP practitioner would probably be listening to me and be like,
but
what?
Yeah.
These guys don't know what they're talking about.
NLP for dummies is what I just did. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I've heard the term before. I don't exactly know, and I wasn't sure if it was on like others or yourself kind of thing.
Totally.
I've actually been reading / listening to a lot of stuff about persuasion lately.
Yeah.
And not, which I guess to what you guys just talked about, it's a little more macro, big picture kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So funny. I've actually I said a couple of days ago that like I want to focus more on persuasion this month. Like I want to research persuasion. And a lot of people, that's a term that people like.
They get a little squirrely when they hear it.
It was kind of like
are you going to
sales.
persuade me?
They do.
But it's more of a broad understanding of human psychology over selling people something.
Well, yeah, and like we're always persuading.
Yeah.
Every single thing we do is persuasion. But it's like, is it motivated to get them to do bad things or to do good things, or things that serve them or things that don't serve them? If you do things that get them to if you persuade someone to do something that's going to serve them and serve the greater good of everyone, that's a win. If you do things that persuade people to do things that are bad for them and don't serve their greater good, that's manipulation. That's a different, that's called manipulation. So
true.
There's nothing wrong with learning persuasion. We are always selling everything. But anyways, not to get off topic. But yeah, NLP, like the thing about me is, look, we all have our gifts. We all have abilities and stuff. I'm not good at a lot of things, truly. But I stay in my lane. And I just think and I think it comes from my past because I've struggled so much. And then once you get through those struggles, you learn so much about psychology. But I don't really feel the need to, like, it's so funny. I'll listen to a psychologist talk on a podcast and she'll say something that she's spent years researching, and I'll be like, and I say this humbly because it's been a blood, sweat, and tears of a journey. But she'll say something that she's realized in research or psychology or whatever, and I'll be like, yeah, I've been teaching my clients that for like years, and I've been telling people this for years, or I've been telling myself this for years. So it's like there's some sort of like, again, I'm really bad at a lot of things, but when it comes to just human psychology, I just have a knack for knowing how like things work. And I am not, by no means, I'm not going to go toe to toe with like a psychotherapist who's been doing it for 30 years or something, but like, I don't know. I just have a knack for it. So I'm not, and I'm also not an academic. I don't like studying out of a textbook too much. So it's hard for me to like go, to school and like study these things,
Anecdotes are always first.
Yeah, man. Anecdotes. And also just like, it's the way we learn. Like I love listening to a podcast of a psychologist or something, right? Rather than just sitting there studying out of a textbook. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.